Hey, Dex Guides here with a guide on how to complete the Folk Hero achievement on the game Bad North. Just to let you guys all know, I'm working on a new schedule for the channel, so there'll be more consistency to what you can find on here. For example, every Thursday I'm planning to post an achievement guide on a game with a difficult achievement in it. For example, this week I'm covering Folk Hero, which has a completion rate of 0.29%. But if you want to know more about the new schedule, just check out my Twitter at Dex Guides, which you can see below, or just check out my community page on YouTube. But less about that and more about the Folklore Hero achievement. So the Folklore achievement description is completed the campaign on hard, recruited all commanders, and kept them all alive. So first things first, let's go through the achievement requirements. Well, we need to complete the game on hard mode, so the first thing you want to do is start a new game. Make sure that your setting is on hard, not very hard, not easy, not normal, hard. That's simple enough. Now, for your two starting characters, it doesn't matter which guy you choose or girl you choose, it can be anyone you want, it doesn't matter. Your traits, you can set traits and still get the achievement, but for this guide, I'm going to choose no trait. If you have traits already unlocked, that's brilliant. That's going to help you out even more when it comes to the achievement, but I'm not going to include them in the guide because some people might just go straight into this exactly. The same with items. You can use items and still get the achievement, but I'm particularly going to go no items on both characters. I will be talking about items later on, but for the guide, I'm going to be using no items at all. And we're going to not allow level restarts, and we're going to have the tutorial off on hard mode and begin. Okay, so if you haven't played Bad North before, I'll quickly sum out what you need to do. So you're going to get 4 characters, or you can use to choose less characters on a map. You're going to start out with 2 though, and we're going to recruit a few more later on. That's what the commander side of the achievement was talking about. You need to defend the islands with your characters. So the first level we're going to start off with is with 2 soldiers. Where we're going to play these out is having them next to each other. And as soon as the island is invaded, we're going to press LB to select our characters, and the one that's behind, we're going to move them into a position where they're overlapping the other characters in order to take out the enemies. These enemies are pretty simple. Obviously, you would expect being the first level in the game. If any of the enemies kind of run away, that's fine. We can just chase them with our character and take them out. I'm going to leave the yellow ones behind there, so you might be able to see if I zoom in. They only have 2 characters left, so they are at risk of dying. So we're going to leave them out of the battle healer and just use our blue guys. And that's fine. They're going to easily take out the last 2 of the enemies. And we're going to get it. So you can also see that at the end of the level, you're going to collect coins based on the houses. The enemy's going to try and destroy the houses, and your guys are going to try and protect them. As long as the houses don't get destroyed, you'll get coins based on the size of the house. It's really important early game that you pick up as many coins as possible. I can't tell you exactly how many coins you're going to need because each map is different. So you're going to have a different style of map depending on what the game makes for you. But I need to stress as much as possible, pick up as many coins early game because we're going to need to upgrade as quickly as possible. Later game, they're less important, and at least the first 4 games, don't let any of your houses get destroyed, and if they do, restart the map. So, let's talk about what these coins are going to be used for. We have 3 different types of characters. We've got the pikes, we've got the infantry, and we've got the archers. Now, for this particular achievement, I'm going to say rule out pikes. Don't buy any pikes for any of your characters. What you want is archers, which are massively overpowered in this game, and infantry, which are going to protect against the enemy's archers. But I'll talk more about that later. We don't quite have enough money to upgrade anything, so let's go into the second battle and talk through again what we need to do. So you may have noticed on the map there is a little logo of what type of enemy you're going to be versing. So the only place we can go right now is Summer Isle. Let's show you what you need to do. Well, first thing you need to do is end your turn, which will allow the kind of fog to start invading your islands, which stops you going backwards. You probably knew that already, but it's just a side note if not. So about the little the characters that you could be facing. You can see a little logo above the island. That's who you're going to be facing. So as you can see, the round-headed enemies are just normal warriors for the enemy. They don't have any shields yet because we're still early game. So we're going to use the same tactic as last time, and let me quickly rush through this. So as you can see, that was a close battle, but again, stopped any houses getting destroyed. We can now talk about upgrading. The first upgrade that I'm going to do is for an infantry. Although I think archers are the most overpowered, early game, the game likes to kind of throw archers at you, and infantry are the best ones against that type of enemy. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade to an infantry class first of all. You can see to get to a veteran, it's going to cost 12 coins, and we've also got 4 coins, so we can't afford any archers on the other side. Archers are going to be the next one we go for. Now, in the achievement requirement, it requires you to pick up all allies along the way. So an ally is represented by a flag underneath the map. If we go into it, we'll find that the local commander is at the bottom of the screen, and he has to fight in this match. We might as well use everybody. With the ball held, we've got a chance that we're going to be versing against infantry who might already have shields. So our shielded guys are going to come against it. Going to come in well. We can see on this map that there's only one lower point of the map, so that's the only place that the enemies can come in from. An archer actually would have been nice here because you can see they haven't got shields, so the archer could have taken them out from distance. You know the tactics by now, so let's me just skip to the end. Okay, so fairly simple stuff. You can see easily defended with this quite an easy map, and now Leslie is part of our crew. We need to make sure we get to the end without any of these dying. If any of them die, during a match, we need to quit out of the game and restart. I'll show a quick example of that in a second. As you can see, the map choice, because we went for the achievement, we went for this guy first. Ordinarily, I would have said go to Hump Island to pick up a load of coins, but because we're playing on hard mode, it's going to be quite difficult to get up there. So we're going to ignore that one and keep moving forward for now. The little line that you can see that indicates areas that you won't be able to go to once you finish your turn. And if it catches up to you, it will be a game over. So you need to be conscious of that and try and get ahead of time. The good thing about the guy we picked up, Leslie, is that he already has a type. You can see there underneath Leslie mounted says a giant commander. He's going to help out later on in the game. He's just a better, more overpowered version of the normal type, which I mentioned at the very start that we wouldn't be putting types on our first two guys, but obviously you're going to come across them as you're playing the game. Use them to your advantage. It's going to be totally random what type you get, so I can't tell you how to use it specifically, but you can kind of read into what it's doing and kind of mentally decide how you want to use that. So for Leslie, for example, I've got 7 coins. I'm going to give him the archer category. So now we have 1 infantry and 1 archer to go into the next battle. So I mentioned earlier on that the archers are massively overpowered in this game. The reason being is that even early on they can take out infantry that's coming towards you before they even have a chance to attack you. So you can see here that boat arrived, the archers have already took out, and that's the lowest level of archer. Once we get to elite level archers, they're going to be able to take out guys with shields early on with accurate without the need to battle them at all. Obviously some infantry are going to make it to the island because we've only got lower level archers at the moment, but the ones that do make it to the island, we can then use our infantry class units to take them out. So that's why they're sitting behind. Early game you don't need to worry about it too much. Late game it's going to become vital that you place your infantry in the right position in order to defend your archers. So late game really what we're planning for is 2 max level infantry and 2 max level archers, one to protect the other really. So at this point you can see the archers have now come in, so we need to move our archers slightly out of the way so our infantry can take the brute force of them archers, but they're not going to die from their archers because they've got shields, and our archers can take out some of their archers in the meantime. That's what I say is going to be key late game, is going to be the main tactic. As we can see, there's another 4 coins which we can use. They're not going to be kind of useful yet because we don't have enough saved up, so we're going to move on again. Just a quick reminder as I'm passing it, make sure if you see any flags, you make sure you go to that island to pick it up. You won't get the achievement if you don't pick up every single one. So going into Pepperhome, I'm going to try and do something a bit tactical here. Now, these are completely down to you on how you want to do it. And the good thing is, if you're going to lose, then you can back out and get to the same save point without having lost anybody. You can just redo the island. Kind of a bit of a unspoken rule that you shouldn't do it. A bit of a glitch, but dashboarding and quitting out the game does save you if any of your your commanders do die. But as you saw in the main map here, I'm going to have to detour to pick up this flag. So instead of using all of my guys, I can see at the top that it's just going to be archers in this match. So the local commander has to be in it. And I know that the sword guys are good against archers. So at this point, I'm just going to use my sword guy and Rickard, the local commander of this island. And that means I can also try to do the next level as well with my other two commanders without ending turn. Therefore moving a step ahead in the map without the fog catching up. And like I say, it doesn't deter me in any way. You can also see that I also have enough money for an upgrade. So at this point I'm going to buy another infantry class so that I have 2 infantry and 1 archers. Hopefully taking Rickard up to an archer very soon. That'll be the next one I'll go for. So as I mentioned, that risk's paid off. I've managed to get my extra commander. I've also managed to move forward once to Molan, and I've got Berry to take out, taking out 2 islands in 1 turn. So that risk is one that you're going to have to take every now and again, but it's going to be a calculated risk based on you can see who you're playing against and which infantry you're going to need in that battle. It may seem silly to you at this point, but you can see I've got 10 coins, so I could buy Rickard and upgrade to an archer, but I'm actually going to save at this point and get to 12 points so I can pick up a veteran archer for Leslie instead. You may have also noticed you can buy skills with your points as well. That's going to come into play later on in the game. Right now, I don't feel that we need to do so. It's going to be mid-game to late game that we're going to need these skills in order to take us forward. But right now, we should be able to complete our levels just by using standard characters. You may have noticed underneath the Berry Island that there's a Septicon with a question mark in it. That represents an item that we're going to get from this island. Now, items aren't essential, but when we're going to pass one, I might as well talk about it anyway. I wouldn't go out of your way to get items, but if you pick them up, then we're going to use them. We won't get it till the end of the level, but I'll talk about it once complete. I'm not sure if I mentioned this prior, but if you feel you need your archers, or if any of your infantry are close to death, you can use the replenish tool, which is the middle option. I would never use the flee tool, I would always use the replenish tool to put your guys in one of the houses, which will allow your squad to go back to a 9 rather than whatever it's currently on. It does take time for that to happen, and your inventory that you choose to put into the house aren't going to be used, but it's a very useful tool in between waves that are coming in, because it takes about a full, from an enemy spawning to get into the island, that's about how long it takes for your full replenish to happen. So if there's not many enemies incoming and you think, right, I should probably give these guys a rest, that's probably the time to do it. So you may have also seen that an item came from that island, which was the Ring of Command. That increases the maximum squad size to 12. I am going to use them on my character, and I would advise you use your items that you pick up as well. As I said before, they are not required to get this achievement, but they're going to help you out quite significantly if you can pick them up. So for example, this one increases the maximum squad size of whoever uses it to 12, so I'm going to equip it to my archer. I'm also going to increase my archer to a veteran so that I'm going to have a massive archery gang to be able to take them out. That's going to help me out significantly, but at the same time it isn't required. If you use the same tactics as before, where you use your shield guys as your guard and your archers in the background firing, that's going to take you pretty late into the game as long as you keep upgrading. So as I saw, now we have 2 infantry, and we also have a veteran archer on our team, and we also have somebody who doesn't have anything yet, but he's eventually going to become a veteran archer as well. Okay, so the next tactical decision we're going to go for is upgrading our veteran archer into an elite archer. You might be very confused about that, but it's basically because the elite archers are massively overpowered, as I mentioned earlier. But I'm going to skip ahead quite far a while. You know the tactic, as I've mentioned a few times now. You're going to stick your soldiers at the front and your archers behind the soldiers whenever any boats come in. Archers are going to take out most of the boats. Anything that's not is going to get mopped up by your soldiers. Rinse and repeat. Okay, so the next purchase we're going to do when we have our next 12 coins is upgrade one of our first 2 guys into a veteran. So again, having 1 veteran, 1 normal infantry, 1 elite archer and 1 nothing at the moment. So moving a few steps forward, and this time we are eventually going to buy a second archer. So we're going to have 4 guys who are able to actually do some decent fighting and aren't kind of just lemons sitting in the background. Still just taking 1 island at a time, letting the map catch up to us. With these warriors, we're able to easily pass through each island step by step. I still don't feel we need any abilities at this point. I would just completely save all of your money for buying upgrades on classes on warriors. At this point, really, we are going to start having the extra guys that we have just kind of being lemons. We're not going to be putting anything on them. There's no point using extra money when we might as well use all of our money to keep moving forward as quickly as possible. Okay, so we're now encountering a new enemy, which can be quite interesting. They have got shields, but when they first spawn on an island, you'll see, well actually you didn't get to see because I took them out too quickly, they would usually throw an axe at our guys. And you've also got these guys here, which is stupidly strong. Hopefully you can take them out as quickly as possible before they get to the island. But if not, you want to have your sword guys at the front taking the brunt of the force, because they're going to be pretty darn strong, which you'll see in the exciting when they start attacking. Again, our elite archers take them out stupidly quickly, so we've got nothing to worry about. But usually you want your soldiers there, you want them taken out as quickly as possible, because them and they're basically the bad guys' elite version. You just want them taken out fast. There is 1 more enemy type which we'll be going through later, but you've pretty much seen all of them now. The shielded guys and the elite shields, the warriors and the elite warriors, and you've seen the archer but you haven't seen an elite archer. Elite archers are quite a pain, but we'll talk about them when we get to them. Okay, as I mentioned before, the next thing we're going to buy is going to be the elite infantry. So that we've got 2 archers who are really poor. Well, an archer that's really poor. We've got an infantry that's really poor. Then we've got an archer that's really good, and an archer that's really, and a warrior that's really good. And again, we've got enough money for an upgrade, and this time we're going to buy the veteran archer. Okay, so at about this point, if we go back in time to show you what I've taken out so far, you can see we're about mid to late game. We're not quite at late game, but just about at late game, because all the maps have started to open up a bit. If you want and you feel like it's necessary to pick up some extra items, for example, you can go back and get that question mark. You can see that the fog is about 4 places behind us. So if you want to get that question mark or that question mark, or you want to go back onto this island over here to pick up some extra coins to upgrade your guys, feel free to do so. It's all going to help you in the long run. Again, I'm not saying it's required, because you probably can't complete the game without these extra coins, as I'm demonstrating with my way of doing it. But if you want to do that way to make the matches a little bit easier for yourself, feel free to do so. Pointing out that we've got 21 coins there. The next upgrade that we're going to do is we're going to upgrade our archer into an elite archer. So if you keep track again, I keep going over this, but I keep letting you know where we are after each upgrade. We've got 1 elite infantry, we've got 2 elite archers, and we've got 1 veteran infantry. So 20 more coins and we'll have the complete set ready to go into the final stages of the game. As I've said, I haven't purchased any skills. I personally don't think you need them. The only skill that you could possibly buy is the volley if you've got some spare coins. That one can sometimes come in use when you're getting overrun late game, but it's not a necessity, as I keep pointing out. So that's up to you. I wouldn't use plunge. It's there if you want it. It can sometimes help you move around the map around. It can sometimes help you move around the map a bit quicker if need be. But it's not the greatest ability in the world, I don't think. And the same, to be fair, with the volley, because it has the potential to miss. It's a bit iffy when it comes to it. But if you've got spare coins and you've got nothing to spend it on, you don't want to upgrade your item, which I'll probably end up doing when I've got spare coins. That's completely up to you how you want to play that sort of the tactical things. I think it's time to talk about the most difficult enemy on this game, which is the late game enemy, which is this one on the left hand side, which basically they shoot out. They're basically massive archers. They're going to take out any of your kind of guys that are battling, unless they're elite soldiers. You can see with the shields. The elite soldiers, they're easily going to defend against them and going to be able to stand strong. The bonus about them being an archer is the fact that they need to be at a distance to do any damage. So when they come onto the land, if you've got somebody waiting for them, as I've got here, you'll easily be able to take them out. The downside is when they're coming in alongside a warrior, like an elite warrior guy that you're fighting against, at which point you need to find a way of using your archers to take out that warrior, whilst your warriors are defending against their archers. Otherwise, when that warrior comes onto the beach, he's going to be distracting your warriors whilst that kind of guy's shooting his archery stuff, and it's going to be a bit of a mess. That's probably the most difficult scenario of the game, but as long as you've got your shield guys in the front defending them, you should have no issues at all. As you can see what's happening with mine here, the archer's trying to take them out, it's not working. Your archer's going for the closer warrior, so they should all be taken out. And once that archer reaches land, which he's doing now, your warrior's just going to hit him, he's going to go down. The next 20 coins I've got, which is where we're at now, I'm going to be buying an elite infantry. And like I say, from this point, it's completely up to you. It completely varies on what items you've got and what skills you've got. But I would keep your 4 characters and just keep moving along step by step, just using them 4. I wouldn't bother upgrading anybody else. It's just kind of a waste of resources rather than having one strong team. It's pointless moving 2 at a time when we've still got a massive distance between us and the fog. So it's completely up to you what you want to upgrade. I'd recommend your item if it's a good item, or if not, I'd recommend volley. I probably won't show you any more gameplay as I've shown you the tactics, which means to be replicated. Whatever island you're on, you're going to be doing the same thing. So I'll skip to the last 3 islands and show a sped up version of what I've done in them islands, so you can try and replicate it for yourself as well. So as promised, I'm going to do the last 3 levels on the video. They will be sped up though, so there probably isn't going to be me talking and explaining what I've done. It's just going to be using the same tactics as previous. I just thought I would show you the last 3 most difficult levels, what you need to do. As I explained earlier, I've got 2 warrior type characters at the front and 2 bowmen at the back, and you'll see me doing that over and over again as and when the enemies are coming on the field. But I'll stop talking and start playing so you can see the last 3 levels, and I'll meet you at the end of that. Whew. Okay, so you might have seen that a couple of houses died on that last time, and in fact, I actually failed the first time I tried doing that mission. But it's always going to come pretty close on the last mission. Now, the stipulations for the mission is just that none of your commanders can die throughout the story. Houses burning down, that doesn't matter. So in the last time, on the last map, you're probably going to have one area which you can make one final stand, which you saw me doing there because my troops were running low. Get your guys to that area if you're like kind of desperate to try and do it. As I've said, the worst case scenario is you can dashboard, quit out the game and get back in. And that way you won't have to do the full complete story again, because if you had to do it, I know it would drive me insane. There are probably a few people who want to do it legitimately, and you can still use the same tactics as you've just seen me do there. So you did see me use the perk from the archers as well there, where you could scatter shot up. For the final level, if you can afford it, definitely buy it. Most of the levels previous, I can tell you, I haven't used it at all until the final level. It's just that final level where it's got the final bits of waves coming in. But you've seen my tactics for the last 3 levels. Now you need to apply that yourself, and some of it is mental strategy, which unfortunately, because the maps are different, I can't talk through. But just make sure you've got them 4 different troops of 2 of the same, 2 archers and 2 warriors, and using their advantages against all of it. I would highly recommend not using pikes. They just did not work for me at all. When it came to the end where them big archers are coming in and taking out your guys, the pikes just became practically useless for me, or if an archer shot from a distance to take it down. But that is my guide to this game for getting the hardest achievement in this game. If I've missed anything out, please put it in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer what my opinion is on it. Or if you've got any particular tactics you want to include down below, please do so. If you've got any games that or achievements you want me to create guides for, again, let me know. I'm happy to work on them to try and create them for you. But other than that, thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!